Okay, well, let's see how this works. Good evening, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a good time tonight. It's Saturday, November 20th, and we're here in Rosemont, Illinois at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. And specifically, we're in the Barn Finds and Hidden Gems display. Whoop, oh, wrong way. Looking at the Barn Finds and Hidden Gems display. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to go through and get you guys information on the ones that I know about. So let's begin with this 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona original Hemi car with a 4-speed. It's owned by Bob Jennings and was pulled out of a Texas barn, I believe, sometime this year. I did follow up, but I just don't remember right now. That's legit Hemi car. Let's take a look. Oh, I'm sorry, it is an automatic. The interior. It's pretty nice. All right, let's just back up real quick. Look at this very cool Oldsmobile 442 W30 convertible that is currently going to be at the Miller Auto Restorations, and I believe they're going to restore it and then bring it back here as an unveiling. Here's a one of 4,400 LS6 Chevelles. You see, it's cool and the story is neat. And it's currently, it's actually really solid. So it doesn't need that much in reality. Next up is a rather unique vehicle. It's a 1970 Acura Supreme SX convertible. It also has the W32 option. It has the 365 horsepower, 500 foot-pound torque, 455 cubic inch V8. It's basically a 442 without the insurance rates. It's like what Dodge would do or Plymouth with the Satellite Sebring Plus. It was just a Roadrunner, basically with a different name. And then we come up to this beautiful 70 GTX, which I don't know much about. It is a legitimate 446 pack car. It's not that bad in reality. Next up is my contribution directly to it. My GoKart. Bought this out of Facebook Marketplace about a week ago. And we had a few cancellations out of the blue. So I decided just to put it in here. Next up is 1967 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme 4-door. And you're like, why is a 4-door in here? Well, the reason the 4-door is in here is because it's a 455, I believe, 4-speed 4-door, which is pretty cool. I think I'm wrong on the 455, but it is a V8 and it does have the 4-speed. This is pretty cool. It's a 70 Dodge Challenger RTSE, which has a lot of really cool options. 33, yada, yada, yada. Yes, that is a Camaro hood. There's an inside joke about it. But this I was shown when I was in Kansas for the Hot Rod Power Tour, and the owner, Chris, was kind enough to bring it to the display this year. And the really neat thing is, look at those cool side pipes, is the car is originally a plum crazy purple, and they painted it Hemi orange. Whoop, sorry, playing with my new gimbal. This is a rare one. This is, as of recently, a unknown Z16 Chevelle. What is Z16? It is an option for the 1965 Chevelle to get the high horsepower 396 cubic inch V8. Only 201 were built, and this one came out of the blue. I think it was in a junkyard. And that is the engine that I believe is going to go in it. It is a Z16 396, but it's not the exact one from this car. And this one, it's pretty rough. We had another one in here a few years ago. It was in much better shape because it came out of California. I don't know where this one came out of, but it needs a little bit of help. Next up is one of the happiest cars that I've ever had here. 1970 Acura Cuda. Not only is it an Acura Cuda, it is also the Acura Cuda from the cover of my second book. After the owner got it running and driving, which you can see in my recent video, he was more than happy to help supply it and bring it to the show with a friend of ours, Keith Knowles at Knowles Automotive. Now, this one was a really funny surprise. It's a 1969 Impala 4-door, and it is a legitimate 427 L72. So it's a 425 horsepower Impala. A lot of police forces, I guess, used it. Whoops, sorry. And this one, let's see if I can get a good side shot, was in a serious accident at some point. Unfortunately, actually when it showed up, I didn't realize what it was, and I'm like, why is this here? Very nice, barn fresh 70 GTX, another one. This one is a little bit more barn find fresh. You can see in the picture they printed out, it was buried in a storage barn for who knows how long. Four-speed car, very cool. Bench seat. Next up is another one you guys might be familiar with. 1970 Plymouth Superbird. This is the exact one that you see on an earlier video. I helped pull out of a storage building where it had been sitting only for a few years, and before that it was a barn. And the owner was kind enough to bring it for the display. So that way, as you'll see here in a second, we had one of every Mopar Aero vehicle. This one right here is a 69 Dodge Charger 500. It is a 440 car, just like that one. But this one was sitting in a tow yard, I believe from the 70s through the 90s or 2000s. And it's really rusty. I don't know if you guys can see the rust in the back. This was another one. This was actually one of my top videos recently. The 1960 Starliner with the special 385 V8. You can see they did a nice little display. The car will be going from here to a shop locally, and they're going to mechanically get the car completely sound, but leave the body. I mean, they might like wax it or something. Obviously, they're going to wash it and clean it up, but otherwise, it's going to remain just as it has been. Next up, it was a late entry, 1971 Cuda convertible. Came out of Ohio. Unfortunately, the original tires and rims could no longer hold air, so the owner threw on some Kragers and some reproduction polyglass. This is a 1964 Ford Mustang. Okay, it's really not a Ford Mustang, but it was supposed to be. My friend Jim Kramer was going to be bringing his 1964 and a half, I think, maybe 65 Mustang drag car. I think it was a jet drag car. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, he's like, hey, I'm going to be picking up a legitimate barn find here. Would you be interested in it? And I'm like, of course. What is it? It's like, it's just an F6 green A12 six-pack Super B. I'm like, I'm okay with you swapping that out. And so he did, and here it is. It is real legitimate time capsule, to say the least. The engine has been touched up because, I forget, it was like in pieces or something. And here we go, a Daytona. It's not the Daytona most people think about. It's a Studebaker Superlark with the R1 Paxton supercharged V8 in it. And unlike the last one we had in here, which was an R2, this one actually rolled pretty easy. And the last two for the section are probably two of the best. It is a 1969 Yenko Camaro, and it is the famous one from the picture sitting in the garden in Wisconsin. Recently come to the show. It's going to go from here. I believe the guy was talking about it going right to a restoration shop for a full-blown restoration. I could be wrong, but I remember I hadn't talked to him directly about it, but that's what I heard from other people in the past. And then this is, to the best of my knowledge, the only known Steve Strope Fritzen Ford Ranchero GT that was raced and everything by Steve Strope. And here he wants information on the car. It was powered by a Boss 429 at Bonneville. I'm sorry, built by Bill Strope. My apologies. But this thing is just so cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little run around the muscle car and Corvette National. So let's just do a quick little pan and shoot. The show turned out really well. It was a success today, and we still have one more day to go, so I'm excited to see what happens. But from here, I'm going to sign off. I don't think you guys want to see me roll around the rest of the show. It's not, it's boring, all the Hemi Daytonas and crazy stuff, to say the least. Arnie Beswick's old car. Ooh, there we go. Oh, what the hell? We'll go for a little ride. Now, this is the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. So, there's a few Corvettes and a lot of muscle cars. Like that 70 Hemi Superbird that's up on the lift right now. This is Bill Stasek, one of our sponsors for the show. He brings in just the only new cars other than Nikki. How about a original Panther Pink, Roadrunner, GTO, Challenger, 6-pack car. Oh, I'm sorry, 4-barrel shaker, W31, original W30 set R27. Here's Nikki. This is Magnum Restoration. And here we are up at the front. Oh, I can't go around there. All right. Here's the Lawman 70 Boss 429. Yeah, you went that way. Hold on. I'm going to end, guys. Have a good night.